Hey everyone, greetings from Brno, from a border-closed Czech Republic. It has been quite a week, as I'm sure you all are feeling. So our borders are closed, restaurants are closed, bars are closed. I stocked up on some wine earlier in the week at Global Wines. So with the intention of talking a little bit this weekend about a fantastic producer in South Moravia. Got the info this morning that our dinner reservations are actually canceled. The restaurant we were planning to go to is closed. So I hope everyone's just taking the precautions they need, staying home, drinking wine, staying safe and just trying not to be out in those crowds. But it has been quite a month for me. I was in Morocco for 2 weeks with my mom. Got to try some really cool Moroccan wine. Really amazing experience. But I'm happy to be back in Brno. Got a lot of studying to do. But before I get started, I have to have a little bragging rights here. So check out the latest Food Drink Brno. Your girl wrote an article about dessert wine, some of the great dessert wines of South Moravia. So check it out. You can pick one up around the city center. I know they're kind of not distributing too much with the virus going around. They're just taking extra precautions, but check it out if you can find one in Brno. You'll see my lovely face in there. But going into today's video, I wanted to talk about a winery that I don't think I've mentioned before, but it's one of the wineries here in South Moravia that is truly putting this area on the map. They have won Winemaker of the Year in 2011, 2014, 2018. They consistently win awards here and abroad. One of the wines I'm featuring today actually won top dry white wine in Paris at the Vinařství competition. So out of like 3,000 wines, this one was the number one winner. So really excited to talk about these wines. In fact, you can actually find some of these wines in America. So if you are lucky enough to live in New York, or New Hampshire, check out Atel Wines. They're the importer of Volařík. They also import Gala and Krásná Hora, two other top producers here in the region. So they are able to get their hands on some of these gems from Volařík. So check them out. I'll list the website here. But really cool to know that some great Moravian wine has made it across the Atlantic. So going into Vinařství Volařík today, they are located in Mikulov, one of the 4 subregions of South Moravia. They have about 80 hectares of land, which is about 200 acres. So it's a fairly large operation. That being said, they are still really hands-on with their winemaking. The enologist, Eliška Beckova, is the enologist there. I had the opportunity to meet her on a few occasions now in Brno and in Prague. The man behind the Volařík name is Miroslav Volařík. So he is the founder of the winery. He started it in 2007. The family had been making wine for years, since before World War II. They learned their know-how from the Germans, actually, that were living in the region. Of course, after World War II, the Germans were booted out, and the Czech Republic is what we know it as today. So since 2007, Vinařství Volařík has been making wine, particularly white wine. They do some of the more classic varietals, 2 of which I'm showing today that I think really represent South Moravia. Welsh Ryzlink, I'll be doing first, and then Pálava, a crossing indigenous to the Czech Republic, but the winner from Paris. So going into it, I love Welsh Ryzlink. If you've been following my videos and my blog, you've probably had your lion's share of Welsh Ryzlink, but I think it's a great, fantastic, unique grape, and I love talking about it. So going into Vinařství Volařík's Ryzlink Vlašský 2018, 2018. So this wine is from, like I said, Mikulov. they get very specific on where they're actually sourcing their fruit. So this is from Dolní Dunajevice, which is a small village in Mykolaiv, from the Zimný Vrch track. So from that vineyard site specifically. What I really like about their expressions of Welsh Riesling, this is a pozdní sběr, so late harvest. They get this really nice, rich citrus aromatic on their wines. Something really unique to Volařík. Whenever I smell that, I know I'm drinking Volařík wines. But going into their Ryzlink Vlašský, so the wine is clear, has a nice yellow, medium yellow color, slight green reflection on it as well. 14% alcohol. 2018 was a pretty ripe year for fruit. So although some of the winemakers I've spoken with had less fruit on their vines, the fruit that they did have was quite concentrated. It was a warm growing season. So on the nose, a lot of citrus peel, like grapefruit peel, lemon peel, orange peel, really zesty. There's a touch of apricot and stone fruit as well. Nice minerality kind of underlying everything. But a fresh, refreshing kind of nose on there. This wine is fermented to be dry. It is a suke wine, so there's very little residual sugar, under 8 grams. Let's give it a taste. Kind of rounded on the palate, medium plus acidity. It's got this little bit of almost a spritz on the tongue. That acidity is really prominent, but great flavors of stone fruit, apricot, nectarine, orange, kind of pink grapefruit. Oh, that alcohol definitely leads to that body on there, but I could totally dig with this with some spiced chicken, like a paprika rubbed chicken. I think that would be delicious. Really nice citrus character and a nice long finish too. I'm still tasting it. Vinařství Volařík is really heralded as one of the top winemakers in the country. So I don't think I've ever showed them before, but like I always say, better late than never. I think their expressions of Ryzlink Vlašský are just delicious. If you can get your hands actually on some of their sweeter styles, the polosladké, they're very good. They have a dried apricot note from some of the botrytis affected grapes that they harvest. But I think a fantastic expression of the salinity and minerality of Mykolaiv, but also that fresh fruit characteristic too. So if you can dig this if you can pick this up in the US, get your hands on it, totally worth the money. The next wine I am going to show, I am really thrilled about. I read the news about 2 weeks ago. So like I said, this Pálava 2018 from the U Venuše plot in Mykolaiv just won #1 top white dry wine in Paris. So repping Czech Republic to the max. Vinařství Volařík continues to astound me with their accolades. So Pálava is a cross grape varietal, a crossing of Gewürztraminer and Müller-Thurgau. It is a grape that grows predominantly in Mykolaiv. It kind of takes on this Gewürztraminer nose, like a rose, lychee kind of aromatic to it. The Müller-Thurgau helps to give it a kind of a fresh citrus fruit character as well. This particular wine was aged for 10 months in barrel on coarse lees, so it has an extra layer of complexity to it, both on the nose and the palate. But the color you can see is a little bit deeper, more of a medium plus intensity on the color, leaning towards straw. But I love that rose water lychee nose you get from Pálava. It's something so unique. But what I like is that it's a little bit more restrained than what you would get on a typical Gewürztraminer from, let's say, Alsace or something. It's not as potent. It's a little bit more restrained. But again, the rose, lychee, really ripe apricot, ripe stone fruit coming through. a lot of lychee on the palate. If you've ever had some of the kind of more odd Asian tropical fruit like rambutans or the little spiny little fruits, I used to pick them up in Queens all the time. I love them. Passion fruit, things like that. You get a lot of those kind of more exotic tropical fruit, not just your typical pineapple or mango, really more of that really tiny, like I said, passion fruit, rambutans, really super exotic Asian fruit. Excellent body concentration, not too piercing acidity. I think the 10 months on the lees really helped to soften that real sharp acidity. This wine is picked with Vinařství Volařík, so it's selection of grapes. This wine is also fermented to be dry, so it is also suke. I think it's a beautiful expression of Pálava, so hats off to Ryzlink Vlašský and Eliška. Y'all make some delicious wine. So like I said, you can pick these up here in Brno at Global Wines. That's where I picked them up. If you ever get a chance to go to their tasting room, it's right in Mikulov. It's one of the bus stops that you can take on the, I think it's the bus 105, I want to say. But the bus literally stops in front of their winery. So head out there. Since we can't leave the country, you might as well go wine tasting if you can. Check these wines out. Check out their tasting room. It's beautiful. And yeah, that being said, I hope everyone really stays safe, stays home. I hope everyone has plenty of wine. I know I do. I've been stocking up for this for months. So my husband and I are quite well off here in terms of wine in our spare room. So if you're desperate, hit me up. I can help you out. Otherwise, stay safe, stay away from any corona-infected people, drink a lot of wine. It's an antiseptic. And I hope everyone enjoys their weekends. Cheers from Brno. Cheers to Volařík, and see you on the flip side. Cheers.